Hi, I'm Margaret, and welcome to Garden School. Well, I have come into the woods at just the right time, and I am seeing some beautiful displays of Trillium. And I was wondering, there's a couple things that came to mind. When I was a kid, we were told don't pick the Trillium because it'll take 7 years to grow back. Well, let's investigate that a little bit. Is that true? And why is it true? And I see white flowers and then kind of purplish flowers. Are those the same kind of Trillium, or is that a different kind? Well, let's look at that too. But first, let's look at some Trilliums. Well, the species that I am seeing right here is one of only 3 in the western part from British Columbia to California. And it's known as the Western White Trillium or the Western Wake Robin. That's there, right there. And they have white flowers on. The plant is between 4 and 12 inches tall, and then as the flowers age, they age to light pink or light purple. That's why we're seeing different colors of some of these. Now, there are 2 other subspecies, one in British Columbia on Vancouver Island, one at someplace in California. But in North America, there are 38 species of Trillium, and some are quite different than this Western White Trillium. Wow, but those are the eastern half of the United States. So they're the lucky ones in this. So why, another question there, why are we told not to pick the Trilliums? Well, here's a Trillium that the stem from the duff layer here down on the floor, the leaves and things like that, up to where the leaves emerge, I think that's about 10 inches. It could even be a little bit more. So the whole plant here is like less than 14 inches tall. That's a tall one. But when you pick this, if you pick this down here, you're picking the leaves. It's got 3 leaves, and that's where the photosynthesis takes place for this plant. So if you take that, even if you take it down to here, you are just removing the food source, the energy mechanism here for this plant. And it can take, well, let's see, I found sources that said between 5 and 9 years to rebloom. So I guess 7, that's right about in there. So it will take a long time for these to rebloom if they are picked or damaged, cut down. They're very fragile, and that's why they are protected in many places. In this nice little grove here of Trilliums, they have been undisturbed enough so that they can spread, and you can see there are some small leaves, some small plants growing. They do reproduce by spreading underground, but that's very slow. But also, the seeds are spread by ants. Isn't that fascinating? How an ant could be responsible for the spread, the establishment of this little colony of Trilliums. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the morphology here of the Trillium. So these white colored things are the petals. These alternating green are sepals. And then these, which we would call leaves, and that's where the photosynthesis happens, those are actually bracts. And then this is actually a scape. That's what it's called, scape. And the stem is actually underground. The structure that it would grow from is a rhizome, which is a modified stem. So really, we're not really seeing the leaves, and we're not seeing the stem, just other parts that are named differently. Another thing that I discovered is that it takes the seed from the trillium 2 years just to germinate. So first of all, it needs ants to help distribute those seeds. And then it takes 2 years just for the seed to germinate. And then perhaps 5 years to come to a flowering stage. That's a lot of effort, but what a beautiful flower. Now, undisturbed, trilliums will bloom annually, and they usually bloom sometime between late March and into June in our area in the Pacific Northwest, the Puget Sound area. Well, I hope you're able to go out to the woods and see some trilliums. Now, leave them there, take pictures, sketch a picture, sketch something that you can take home with you to remember. Trilliums are really lovely, but they really do best in their native situation, so we should enjoy them there. Well, there's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.